The legendary Pokemon Lunala is returning to Pokemon GO's raid battles, and this time around, you're going to be able to get the shiny version of this Pokemon. In this video, I'm going to be going over the best counters and strategies for how you could take down Lunala, and you definitely do not want to miss out on this raid. Hey, what's happening everyone? Count Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon GO video. I hope your day is going really well, and let's get right into it. So, Lunala, this is one of the legendary Pokemon from Pokemon Sun and Moon, and it is often considered one of the more popular legendaries because of just the general theme behind this Pokemon. It's actually really good in Pokemon GO, and it is also used for one of the fusion forms for Necrozma, a really good one in fact. So, this has always been kind of like a highly valuable Pokemon. Even though some players may not necessarily use it outright, it is often considered one of those Pokemon that players will still want to get simply because of the future aspects of it. If you were to get yourself a really solid Necrozma, for example, as well as the fusion energy for Dawnwings, then you will need Lunalas in your collection in order to get that particular fusion. And then on top of that, Lunala itself is still pretty good. It's a very solid ghost type. It may not necessarily be as good as Dawnwings, but in some cases you might want to use it. It's pretty decent, and if you do not have a lot of really good ghost types in your collection because you just started playing Pokemon GO, Lunala will hold you over. It's pretty good. Now, taking down Lunala is extremely straightforward. You just need Pokemon of a particular type. Let's go over the strategies for taking on this raid boss. Lunala is going to be a Psychic and Ghost type legendary Pokemon. This actually gives it only 2 weaknesses, but it's going to be double weak against these particular types. In particular, it's going to be double weak against Dark type attacks as well as Ghost type attacks. It's kind of unique in that way. In terms of resistances, it's going to be double resistant to fighting type attacks and also resistant to poison, normal, and psychic type attacks. Obviously, avoid bringing any Pokemon with these moves, but there is actually one top counter that is a psychic type. You will still want to bring it, but it's going to be move dependent. Now, if you're looking for perfect IVs of Lunala, you're going to want to find one that is 2310, and if it's weather boosted, it's going to be 2887. Lunala is going to be weather boosted by 2 weather types, and that's going to be foggy weather and windy weather. If you want to secure the win against Lunala, you might want to bring a couple of trainers more often than not. If you want to secure the win, bring 4 to 6 trainers total in the raid lobby, and if you want to challenge yourself, you can potentially duo Lunala. You're just going to want to make sure both of you bring the absolute best counters, and also all the advantages like party play, different things like that. And speaking of best counters, let's go over those right now. Mega Tyranitar is by far going to be the best Mega Evolution, by far. This is probably the best Pokemon you could bring. It's going to deal an incredible amount of damage and also boost up the Dark type attacks of your raid party. And of course, you will want to go with Dark type attacks, in particular go with Brutal Swing as the charge attack. And then another Mega Evolution, and this is a recent addition, Mega Mewtwo Y is also pretty good up against Lunala. But just be careful not bringing one with just Psychic type attacks, because you really want to go with Mega Mewtwo Y in particular with Shadow Ball. That's how you're going to deal all the damage against Lunala. And of course, aside from Mega Evolutions, Shadow Tyranitar and Shadow Darkrai with Dark type attacks, those are going to be the top DPS Pokemon. And then the number 1 Ghost type in the game is actually going to be Dawnwings Necrozma, which is, ironically enough, one of the Pokemon you can get by fusing Necrozma with Lunala. And then if you do not have any of these Pokemon, don't worry, you could go with just a bunch of regular Tyranitars with Dark type attacks, but also King Gambit. That's another really solid Dark type in the game. Alright, so taking down Lunala, very simple. Just bring Dark types and you'll be good to go. You could also bring Ghost types, of course, but of course Lunala is also going to be strong against Ghost types, so you'll want to be careful with that. If you just go with Tyranitars, you're pretty much set to defeat this boss, no problem. Now, the one thing with Lunala's return to raid battles this time around, and I did mention this earlier, you're going to be able to get the shiny version of this Pokemon for the very first time. And it's a very unique looking shiny. It's like completely solid red. It's a really cool look. I feel like the shiny versions of the Pokemon Sun and Moon legendaries, in particular Solgaleo and Lunala, they just look so unique and they're just pretty awesome like models. Yeah, but You know, if you use a shiny Lunala and fuse it with a non-shiny Necrozma, just keep in mind that the fusion form is not going to be shiny. It's completely dependent on the Necrozma, so really you're collecting shiny Lunalas for the sake of having shiny Lunala. You're not going to be using it for the fusion forms, unless of course you use shiny Necrozma to fuse with Lunala, but you should use a regular Lunala in that case. Don't use a shiny Lunala because, yeah, it's not going to make a difference. But I will say Lunala is pretty good, and for you to get a shiny variant of this Pokemon, it's definitely a collector's item. I'm sure there's going to be players out there who are going to want to trade for it. I mean, even compared to Solgaleo, which saw its shiny debut a couple of weeks ago, this is definitely going to be one that players are going to want. So you should definitely raid for this. You should try to get the shiny version. It's a really cool looking shiny. And if you do happen to get yourself a high IV shiny, maybe it might be worth powering up. But I would hold off on that. Really, what your aim here is to get yourself a whole bunch of Lunalas for the fusion forms with Necrozma, and then maybe collect a couple of shiny Lunalas along the way. Mainly for trading or for collecting. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing else really to talk about regarding Lunala. Yeah, like I said, the shiny variant is now out in the game. You're going to be able to take it down with just dark types, and yeah, it's a pretty decent Pokemon if you're a new player. But primarily, you're going to be using it for fusion forms. And I don't know when they're going to bring back the fusion forms of Necrozma and raids. Probably not for a while. I mean, we just got Mega Mewtwo X and Mega Mewtwo Y. Funny enough, Mega Mewtwo Y is one of the top counters for this Pokemon, but I suspect it's going to be a while. So, you know, mainly just hold on to your Lunalas. You never know when they're going to bring it back. And then once they do bring it back, make sure you raid a whole bunch of them because, my god, Dawn Wings Necrozma is so powerful. It's probably one of the best Pokemon in the game, and it's going to continue to be one of the best Pokemon in the game for the foreseeable future. You definitely want a whole bunch of them in your collection. I mean, I have, I think, 2 or 3 Dawn Wing Necrozmas that I've powered up and have been using in raids. They're both, I mean, they're just incredible. I really do think it's unmatched. Like, you really should have a bunch of these. So yeah, have a bunch of Lunalas ready for fusions. Yeah, that's my one little tip. But let me know your thoughts regarding Lunala's return down below. Are you going to be going for the shiny version of Lunala? Are you going to be raiding these? Or are you going to be skipping out on these raids and saving your raid passes for a later raid boss? Definitely share your thoughts. I would definitely like to know. And yeah, let's have a great discussion. And if you enjoyed this video, found it to be informative, and you want to support my channel, best way you could do that is by hitting the like button for this video. And if you happen to be watching on mobile, hit the hype button as well. It's down in the comments down below. And subscribe if you haven't done so already. Turn on that notification bell so you know exactly when I upload videos. Also, take some time and check out the links in the description below. One of them is my Patreon page, and if you decide to become a paid Patreon member, I'm going to add you to my Pokemon Go friends list. So if you want to play Pokemon Go with me, you could do that by joining my Patreon. And I also have links to some of my social media pages, in particular my TikTok. I actually started that up. Join me on TikTok, give me a follow, and yeah, that would help me out quite a bit. But yeah, that's going to be it. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself today, and I'll catch you in the next video.